as a mom of 3 now, I kind of feel like I have a lot better idea of what I'm doing, but I remember what it was like being a first-time mom. This was almost 9 years ago. Wow, time really flies. And a lot of the moms that I work with directly are first-time moms or first-time pumping moms. So I think I'm gonna do like a throwback and see what I wish I had known as a first-time mom. Maybe this can help you specifically on your pumping journey, what I wish I knew as a first-time pumping mom. So let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I made a couple notes. 6 things that really would have helped make that life easier. Okay, so this is specifically geared to those combining breastfeeding and pumping, but really anyone who is a first-time pumper. Maybe you're actually a first-time mom, or maybe this is just the first time that you have to go back to work and start using a pump, or you want to start pumping. So that's who I'm talking to here. The first thing I wish I would have known is not all pumps are created equal. And back when I started pumping, I had gone back to work. There was like one option that I knew of. It was the Medela Pump and Style, the old one. Actually, I think it was literally this one. If I remember right, there's like still like milk stains in it. It's gross. I actually just pulled this thing apart the other day and took out everything to see what was inside, to see what made it run. And I put videos like that over in our deep dive, which is kind of fun. But that was kind of the only option. I actually got this pump used from a friend, which is a huge no-no because it's an open system. And this pump specifically was not designed for multi-users. And having that pump was probably a huge detriment to my pumping journey. I didn't quite make it. I talk about more of my specific journey and how it didn't work and why it didn't work and maybe what you can do to make it work in this video that I'll post right up here for you. But knowing now that I've explored over 60 breast pumps and actually tested them and gotten their data and seen their graphs, not all pumps are created equal. That is, not only are the styles different, the suction levels and the patterns and the settings and things like that, but they are not manufactured the same. They don't have the same parts and technology, and it's amazing how different they are. And it can be really overwhelming. There's a million options, We've got those tabletop pumps, we've got small portable pumps, we have wearable pumps. How do you know which one is right for you? That's gonna have to be another video, but there's a webinar down below I think you'd really like if you are a working mom trying to figure out which pump or even which category of pumps might work best for you. There's a quiz down there too, which is fun. Anyone can take the quiz. It'll pop out some recommendations, so that's cool. Okay, the second thing that I wish I would have known as a first-time pumping mom is how to actually use the pump. All right, so I think I did know, I knew that there was 2 modes because I pushed the buttons around and there was a faster mode and a slower mode. And I did start with the faster mode. That is what you're supposed to do. And then as soon as the milk started flowing, I had to let down, switch to the slower mode. And then I just used a comfortable suction setting and milk came out. So it works. And I wish I would have known a little bit more about how it worked, a little bit more of the specifics, what I was actually looking for. This pump in particular was very minimal, which I think can be nice for first-time pumping moms to pick a pump that if you're easily overwhelmed or you don't have the brain space to really understand it and figure out the settings that work best for you, finding a pump that has minimal settings might be good. But now, after having tried a few and having a couple of babies, I really like pumps that have more features. I like to customize them and get the milk out as fast and efficiently as possible. Number 3, the third thing I wish I would have known is how important flange sizing was. And for one, I didn't even know that having a different flange or the right flange size was a thing. But 2, I don't think I ever even thought about it because I just used what came with the pump and milk came out. All right. And so I'm like, this must be fine. And it didn't hurt. And it was fine. And I think I hear this a lot from moms and even moms inside my program after I've already taught them about the importance of having the right flange size and said, you will see more milk come out with this. It will be more comfortable. You should do it. So many of them still are like, I get fine output. I'm not worried about it. I'll deal with it later. And I usually say, okay, but also you're going to come back to me in 3 months when you actually do find your right size and you're going to be like, why didn't I do this earlier? And I'm going to have to say, I don't know. All right. It makes a difference. Milk will come out if you're pumping with one that is too big, but not all the milk, and it will take longer. Okay. So if you want to pump fast and efficiently, you gotta have the right flange size, or an appropriate flange, as I could say. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? But it needs to be right. Yeah. Okay, number 4. A good schedule is important. And I actually feel like I did know this going in. I was a school nurse. I had my own office, so it was actually pretty easy to shut my door. I put a sign on the front and said, I'm pumping. It got harder when I had to transfer, between schools, or there was an emergency in another school and it kind of interrupted my flow. But for the most part, I tried to stay as on schedule as possible. And especially once I became, a certified lactation consultant and dived into pumping and the pumping world, there really is no substitute for consistency. So I wish I could tell you that we can pump less and we can, pump short and it can just be work. And sometimes we can, but really I cannot come over there and do the work for you. I can't come and pump if you're skipping pumps, if you're not being consistent. It's not going to go well, okay? So at that point, we have to weigh your goals and what are you trying to do? And is what you're doing working for you and going to get you there? If not, then you got to be more consistent. You just have to. Number 5, a good schedule is not the only thing, okay? And I talk about this heavily in this video that I'll post up there, why my back to work pumping schedule didn't work, right? I actually was really consistent. I did an awesome job at scheduling in my pumps, hitting them all every day, and I still didn't quite make the output that I wanted, although we were breastfeeding fine. And so I knew the milk was there. I just didn't understand why I couldn't pump it out, especially towards the end of our 1 year mark. And I see this so often from working moms. It is not you. It is not your milk supply. It is not your pump. It's the way you're pumping. Pumping is an art, right? And using a breast pump is not just plug and play. You can't just use the things that came with it, plug it on, push play, and expect things to go great. Sometimes it does, but that is not the norm from what I've found. And often it works okay and can kind of give you a false sense of this is working. And then you come to me later and say, after a month in, why isn't this working? It used to be fine and it's kind of going down, 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 down. And that's when we really dive into, okay, you can pump, but we're not pumping correctly. We're not doing all of the things that need to be done correctly to pump fast and efficiently. The biggest key to pumping is getting the milk out that's already there. If breastfeeding's going well, I can almost guarantee you that the milk is there. And if you're not able to supplement their needs while you're away from them, it's one of two things. It is we're not pumping the milk out that is available, or we are overfeeding them while you're away, right? I mean, low supply doesn't even come into the equation unless we have reason to think that there is. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I have a whole nother video on low milk supply versus low milk output, and it talks a lot more about that, kind of the right ways to pumping and how to find help there as well. Okay, and last but definitely not least, the thing that I wish I had known as a first-time pumping mom is who the heck to ask questions to. And I had no one. I had a couple of friends that pumped at work, but they kind of did as well as I did, which was like medium success. And so I kind of just thought that was the norm. Like when you have to go back to work, you're going to have to supplement with formula. Sorry, Charlie. And that's just not the case. Okay, I didn't know who to ask. I had been a nurse for many years and worked in OB, like pregnancy, postpartum, breastfeeding, like this was already my jam. And I still couldn't find anyone, including lactation consultants, that knew how to help me with pumping. I had asked many for breastfeeding help and that journey was hard too for me. And I figured it out. I was so determined that was going well, but I had no one to ask for pumping. And honestly, this is the big thing for me. And this is why I created a specific program to give you everything that I didn't have. Okay. All of this information that I just shared with you is inside this program that I have built specifically for working moms. Through my own personal experiences, through my study in the field of lactation and certification there, and my study of breast pumps and researching them and testing them, and my clinical experience working specifically with working moms, this is what I love. This is my place in the world of lactation. So if you are combining breastfeeding and pumping, specifically if you are doing this in the workplace or you're anticipating that you're going to, and you want some help, if you want to know what you don't know, if you want help from a professional who specializes in exactly what you're doing, I'm here, right? I know it's hard, and I know how hard you're working. I've done it. I'm been there. I'm there. I have small children too. I'm a working mom myself, and I also know what you need. I'm inside my program every day answering questions from working moms who have invested in themselves to get the help that they deserve and need. So I would love to see you inside there too. Feel free to schedule a call with my team down in the description if you want some personalized help from an expert. Otherwise, I hope these 6 things kind of help give you an idea what I wish I had known as a first-time pumping mom, and hopefully we can make this easier for you and you can find the help and support you're looking for. All right, I hope to talk with you soon. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Bye.